okay? But we work with what we have. And some of them will use placeholders for the most part. Okay, so this one right here, this is where the olfactory bulbs would normally be, and this is the remnant of an olfactory bulb right there. So that's olfactory cranial nerve number 1, and we use Roman numerals for this. You know, like the Super Bowl.
Or just Roman numerals.
Because I know you're gonna associate with the Super Bowl a lot more. Okay, so olfactory number 1, and then this is optic number 2. Okay, optic number 2. And the stub facing forward here would be the oculomotor number 3. Okay, so far so good, right? Oculomotor number 3. And this big stump on the back would be trigeminal number 5. Okay? The trochlea is a very small one. It would be inside here. That one we almost always never have it because it's just too small. It comes off. Okay? And this big stump at the back here, I got this brain because of that, is the vestibulocochlear number 8, the one that goes to the ear, the one we were doing last time, you know, that was in the exam. Vestibulocochlear number 8, trigeminal number 5, oculomotor number 3, optic number 2, olfactory number 1, all the time using Roman numerals, okay? And now, this right here would be the spinal cord. And the last part of the brain is the medulla oblongata, where it tapers down like that, okay? So this would be the medulla, and we usually have a placeholder for the last nerve. So even though there's nothing, you may see a few remnants, and I put a pin right at the end of the brain, just before you get to the spinal cord. That will be the hypoglossal number 12. So if I put a pin over here, even though you don't really see much coming out, and I'm asking what is that cranial nerve, you say hypoglossal number 12. Okay. Some of the other ones are over here, but you know, and then there's a diagram in your book that's going to show you approximate location of the other, you know, to make the 12. Okay, so you can look at that, but you concentrate on the ones we have, because in the exam these are the ones I'll be able to tag. Olfactory number 1, optic number 2, oculomotor number 3, trigeminal number 5, vestibulocochlear number 7, which is left over here, and then over here I'll just put the hypoglossal number 12. Okay, so that's good. And then so the pituitary would be here, but of course it gets cut off because, you know, it sticks out here, and then you would have the mammillary bodies here, and then the cerebral peduncles would be here for the midbrain, connecting to the upper parts of the brain. And of course this is the dura mater, right? The toughest of the meninges, the outermost. Okay, that's that. And then so we're going to remove that and then see the external structures. To see them properly, we got to remove that. And of course this is the falx cerebri, remember, which separates the cranial dural septa, which are the extensions of the dura mater that go into the which is the that separate the crevices of the brain, or the different parts of the brain. Like the longitudinal fissure, there is one there, and the transverse one, there is one in there too, which is the falx cerebelli. No, tentorium cerebelli is this one. Separates the cerebrum from the cerebellum. Cerebrum from the cerebellum. Tentorium cerebelli. I think it was in one of your exams too. And this here would be the falx cerebelli, which separates the cerebral hemisphere. And this is the vermis, which is the middle part of the cerebellum. So it connects the cerebral hemispheres. And this is the falx cerebelli, separates the cerebral hemisphere. So I'm going to cut it off now, and you'll still be able to see the cranial dural folds. So I usually just sort of focus on here, start here. Usually if it's like that, I just cut like that, but I'm gonna just leave it alone and then go over here. We wanna cut over here and over here like that, and then here we cut inside like that, because this is the toughest part of the dura mater, the tentorium cerebelli. So you wanna really be careful when you cut that out. Okay. So You just put your thing flat like that. You see how hard it is over there? Okay. Okay. And then I go here. You don't want to remove the Jura Mater down here because you know what? What's going to happen? You're going to remove all our cranial nerves and that would really suck. We need them to stay there. So that's why we cut it over here. Okay. Like so. Are you taking video? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. I was like, really? You're not? Why? So here, you may have to use your sharp end just to put it over here so you can cut it because it's so tough. You see how tough it is? It's like rock. And I'm not even joking. You see it when you cut yourself. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here it might be attached in the middle here. So you want to make sure you kind of sort of go there. Well, this one is okay. So I'm just going to splash myself, you know what I'm saying? And then you're going to just sort of remove it like that. What happened? Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you see it sticking like this, you go in and cut some more.
It's like peeling shrimp.
It's like peeling what?
Shrimp.
You like shrimp?
It's like peeling shrimp.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. You like shrimp? You do?
Yes.
Because I don't like shrimp. So here, I'm gonna have problems. You know what I'm saying? Because this is so hard. You have to remove it carefully. You know. It's like shrimp. Even though I don't like shrimp. There you go, we're done. Okay, so you gotta be careful. You gotta really cut it deep here. You see how this is? When you touch yours, you will see how this is like so hard. Okay, so because it's cradling the mushy brain, you see all of that, the cerebrum, and the cerebellum down there. So it really cradles it nicely like that. So boom, boom, boom. Now we go do our external structures. You know what I'm saying? So this is the longitudinal fissure. We kind of know about it already. And these bumps here are the gyrus, yeah. And the grooves here are sulci. Sulcus is singular, gyrus singular. Okay. And this is what we call the motor cortex, the precentral gyrus over here, which is this bump here, and then over back here would be the post-central gyrus, which would be this somatosensory primary sensory cortex, primary motor cortex. Okay, so we got these structures on top of the brain. So I'll be specific. If I'm asking for a bump, I'll say bump. If I'm asking for a groove, I'll say groove. Or I could put a pin over here and I'm asking what's lobe of the brain that is. You say frontal, right? Okay, so I'll be specific. I'll ask for a lobe, for a bump, or for a groove. Because I could put the pin here. You could say gyrus, but if I had said lobe, you'd say frontal. You said, so you have to read the question and and see that. Okay. If I put a pin over here, down here, that will be the temporal lobe, and I'm saying what's lobe of the brain that is temporal lobe. And if I put a pin somewhere up here, that will be the parietal. Yes, parietal, and also parietal on this side. So all of this is frontal and the prefrontal cortex. And if I put a pin somewhere towards the back here, that will be the occipital lobe, if I'm asking for the lobe, okay? And then of course, this is the cerebellum. And then if I put a pin here and say what's that part of that, what's that part of the brain, okay? You would say vermis. You see, looks like a worm. It looks like one of those grubby worms. That's what's called vermis. See, it connects the cerebellar hemisphere. This is the cerebellar hemisphere. So that falx cerebelli runs along here, okay? And then the falx cerebri runs along here, the longitudinal fissure, and then the tentorium cerebelli runs along here, which is that tentorium cerebelli, falx cerebri, and then these are the falx cerebelli from the cerebellum. Okay, so we are done with that. So vermis, occipital lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, frontal lobe, and then gyrus, sulcus. Okay, so we got that part, we got our nerves down, we got that. So we need lubricant to cut this so we can see the internal structures, because I want to do that one fell swoop. And then I might even do the eye and give you the eye and do that. And then when everybody's got the organs, you could dissect one, and then, but I want you to learn